Hi, I'm Duncan Bravo with the SoCal Focus Show, and I'm back with my guests, Mike Blaser, Energy Garcia, and Andy K. All right, we are back. So I'm going to start back with Mike. Mike, we were talking on the break there about the complexity of the lending these days, and definitely expand a little bit about
Well,
that.
the Dodd-Frank legislation that came out of the mortgage meltdown from 2008, and it's called Dodd-Frank is the name of the legislation. It was passed in 2010. It's been enhanced every year since then. Has put the onus on the back of the mortgage lenders to do everything perfectly so as to prevent God forbid, having another mortgage meltdown. And in doing so, the complexity is such that only experienced loan officers can really guide people through the process properly. Inexperienced people that you find often at the bank, for example, simply don't have the necessary skills and the depth of experience to understand where the pitfalls might lie for a typical applicant trying to apply to buy a home. So I like to tell people to follow my lead because I'm guiding them down the path that will lead them to a successful conclusion in the mortgage process so they can buy their home. I realize it's only one component of the home buying process, but it's a very important component, and it'd be dealt with seriously.
Yeah. Just give us, let's say, a couple of examples of some of the complex or difficult things that you've had to work through.
We have rules and guidelines that we have to live within that touch everything from income to assets to your credit history. And people often think that once they've opened a loan, they can still go out and open new credit, buy a car, do other things that unrelated to the buying the house itself, and that's just simply not the case. We monitor people's credit once we've run a credit report on them at the application stage. We monitor their credit specifically for things like that so that we know if there's any new indebtedness that's coming. Same with moving money around. People will often volunteer to us a couple of months of bank statements showing us that they have the money to buy real estate, and then they start moving that money around irrespective of any notice to us as to why, and then we have to source where they've moved it to, what money's come in. So there's every nuance of the person's financial background is scrutinized. And I basically tell people, stop, don't do anything. Once you've bought a home, entered it into an escrow, don't move any money, don't open any credit, don't apply for anything, don't use your credit cards. Just basically put all that on hold until your loan is approved and the escrow is closed.
Right, and so if the folks are interested, you have a website. Is it Mike for Loans?
I do. My website is mikeforloans.com, and you can spell that any way you like. I own all those URLs, so Mike, M-I-K-E, 4FOR, loans.com.
So they can actually go there and at no charge, they can get the process going to get pre-approved.
Correct. They can apply online. There's lots of material there, lots of frequently asked questions and answers there. But they can actually apply on there, and that comes directly to me electronically. It's highly encrypted, so your data is very safe. And I'm automatically notified when someone's come on that and filled out that information. I'm automatically notified. I pick up the phone, call them, we discuss questions, answers.
Right. That's great. And it's not a problem if somebody has, let's say, multiple incomes. You can still kind of piece the picture together.
Yeah, it's very common. And we can still piece it together. Typically, we average, if you're self-employed, we average income over a 2-year period. So right now we're asking for 2015, 2016 tax returns and 1099s and pay stubs to more or less average their income over that 2-year period. And then we deal with people who are on extensions and all that's fine. We just have a process that we have to go through to more or less average income for those who are self-employed.
Excellent. Cool. Energy, you have a real estate school, right?
I do.
Tell us more about that, what you do and how you help people out there.
Yeah, so I actually train people from the very onset to not knowing anything about real estate to getting their real estate license. My real estate school, I do it as a correspondence course. So when I started in real estate, I was actually a supervisor for a major airline, and I didn't have a lot of time to go to classes. So when I decided to do the school, I decided to do it as a home study correspondence to make it super smooth and easy for working professionals. In order to get your California real estate license, you do need 3 courses. You need real estate principles, real estate practice, and then an elective. And you can do it online, you can go in person, or you can do it as correspondence. I like correspondence, old school, college textbooks. You can, read and reread, and I understand with online courses, a lot of people are trying to do screenshots and go back and forth, and I think most of us, we learned from actual books, so that's what I promote. And then once you have your certificates in those 3 courses, you apply to the Bureau of Real Estate for California, and then you can schedule your test date, and you go and you take a test. For Los Angeles, the closest area is La Palma, and you take 150 multiple choice test, 70% passing, and once you pass, you have the ability to sell real estate. You do, however, need to join your local board of realtors to call yourself a realtor. Realtor is a trademark word, and you have to belong to the board of realtors. But it's a smooth process, and I've been privileged to be able to guide people through that process for many, many years. I started in 2005 as a real estate trainer, and it's something I love. I love growing people, as you know. With the leadership, we grow youth, we grow realtors. Growth is the name of the game. So if you're Tony says, if you're not growing, you're dying. So
there you go.
We're growing.
And real estate is one of those things that there's really no limit to what you can do and how much you can get involved. And you could do it on a part-time basis, full-time basis, and you can make some really good money in real estate.
Absolutely, yes.
Very cool. Eddie, just real quick, we got about a minute and a half on this segment, but you're into cooking a lot, right?
I can cook, yeah.
What are some of your favorite things to cook, and what are the things you might have learned that you might want to share?
I can pretty much cook anything. Yeah. I'm a big fan of seafood, so I do a lot of different seafood stuff. I'm very meat and vegetables. I don't like a lot of carbs, so I do all the Italian food because everybody loves it. And I try to not do it. I do it very well. Everybody always asks for it, so it's hard to keep the weight off around my house. But mostly seafood, I would say, is what I prefer to do.
Very cool. What's your favorite?
I think salmon. Salmon's go to anytime. You can make it a million ways, and it's always good. So I'm a big fan of salmon. I love making steaks and barbecuing too. Yeah. So do a lot of that around my place.
Excellent. Yeah, I think in our house probably salmon is our number one favorite. My wife does an awesome job with salmon, so we ended up probably at least a couple times a week doing salmon, and a lot of times on the grill. So we're almost out of time on this segment, and we're just going to take a break real quick, and then we'll be right back.